right, Dale Smith on your left. Titan Shift, Jund. Be underway here in just a moment.
Interesting here to see Dale playing with 3 copies of Anger of the Gods. A lot of people have moved to playing with Sweltering Suns because you get to cycle in the matches where it's bad. A lot of respect for Hollow One here this weekend if he's playing with Anger of the Gods.
Well, one thing about that little spot in the deck, Sweltering Suns versus Anger of the Gods, at Grand Prix Phoenix, I did a little 1-1-1. I did a Slag Storm, Anger of the Gods, and a Sweltering Suns for those Meddling Mage fans out there.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, try to name that card. Go ahead.
That is nice.
There are some downsides to that, though.
Right, because you often have the wrong card in your hand, or in Slagstorm's case, just a bad card in your hand.
Well, Slagstorm can kill Jace. Okay.
I don't know how the rules work anymore.
Actually, I don't know if it can kill Jace anymore. I actually don't know.
I don't think it can.
I actually don't know. Never mind. Here's an Inquisition of Kozilek. I see a Search Tomorrow, Primeval Titan. A Kalani Heart Expedition, a card with a lot of scribbles on it. A Lightning Bolt, a Forest, and a Mountain.
I think it's an Obstinate Baloth, but I'm not sure.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
3 damage to each player. Can you still redirect to play? How does that work?
It has to be something that says, my understanding of the rules, I'm not saying that I'm 100% on these. Okay. It has to be something that can target anything.
Okay.
Like anything, like Lightning Bolt gets backwards errata to just be anything, and then you target Planeswalkers. Or a card that specifically calls out Planeswalkers. So you can Lightning Bolt a Planeswalker. You cannot redirect the damage from Price of Progress.
Okay.
Because Price of Progress only deals damage to players.
Got it. Okay. Well, Slagstorm has gotten worse then.
What I just said also might be completely wrong. I'm not sure.
Here's the Kalani Heart Expedition from Dale. Titan Shift is more of a turn 5, turn 6 combo deck, but it's got some resiliency built in because the deck does basically the same thing every game, but it just doesn't do it all that quickly.
Yep.
That'll be a Maelstrom Pulse to take care of the Kalani Heart Expedition, which is more significant than you think, because that is a card they need to ramp with, and Dale is just playing a land go every turn as opposed to far-seeking or exploring or anything like that, so he's off to a very slow start.
Yep, his Expedition got blown up, the Search for Tomorrow got taken with the Inquisition, and for right now he's just making his land drops. But Hefner's not putting him under any pressure, so far things are okay for Smith, even if it's a little bit on the slower side.
Hefner will play a Scavenging Ooze and a Swamp. The Ooze will be bolted. So we head back over to Dale, who picked up another copy of Kalani Heart Expedition, so he'll play that first, follow up with a land. That land will be a mountain, a trigger. Takes 3 counters to send that thing off. So 2 to go here for Dale Smith. This one from the first trip to Zendikar.
Yes.
Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a quest counter on Kalani Heart Expedition, remove 3 quest counters, sacrifice it, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Pretty good with fetch lands, obviously. Good if you're ramping, casting a card like Cultivator Harrow. A lot of different ways you can get it done, and of course, if you search for 2 mountains when you have the necessary requisite lands for Valakut, it can be kind of a delayed Valakut trigger. So there's some upside to playing this card. There's also some downside, like you saw with the Maelstrom Pulse.
Yeah, the downside is, first of all, it's as you mentioned, it's a permanent that can be interacted with. The second downside to it is it kind of only works when things are already going well for you. It does amplify what your bad draws look like.
By the way, you nailed it. It is actually an Obstinate Baloth in hand there for Dale Smith. So that's why you saw Liliana the Veil come down and not plus. Because Jessy doesn't want to have to face down a 4/4 at this stage of things. Farseek the draw here for Dale, so he will cast Farseek. We'll see exactly which land he wants to grab here. And it looks like it might just be a Stomping Ground, and it will. Trigger the Kalani Heart Expedition. There are 4 mountains on the battlefield for Valakut right now.
That means the Expedition can be blown up at any moment here for mountains 5 and 6.
And that'll trigger Valakut. 2 triggers, actually. Looks like Jesse is considering plussing Liliana as he lays out his hand a little bit here. But this is a very difficult matchup here for Hefner. Again, Titan Shift, not the fastest combo deck out there, but it does have some resiliency built in because it is so darn redundant. It's got a lot of ramp spells, Valakut triggers, Primeval Titan and ways to find it. And then a couple other ancillary pieces, like Obstinate Baloth in the main deck. That'll come down from the Liliana. And now there's another Liliana, which I think we're going to watch plus, actually, to take care of Primeval Titan.
Hard way for Hefner to do it here, but he cannot let that Primeval Titan enter the battlefield, so it is what it is.
Obstinate Baloth will finish off Liliana. And Dale Smith will pass the turn back. Bloodbraid Elf. We'll do some cascading. Dark Confidant. Here's an attack for 3. Dale Smith will fall down to 21. And remember, because of the Kalinyard expedition that's on the battlefield, Dale can take care of Dark Confidant and or Bloodbraid Elf whenever he'd like. For now, he'll just attack here for 4 with the Obstinate Baloth after playing a mountain for his draw step. Hefner will draw. Fatal Push the reveal. Going to fall down to 14, will Jessy. Here's an attack for 3. And now it's another copy of Dark Confidant. Smith will play a Search for Tomorrow. This will allow him to find a basic mountain most likely. There it is. Trigger Valakut. I think he says 3 at you. You're down to 11.
Yeah, Smith not really interested in interacting with the board very much here, especially now with Hefner having picked up a Fatal Push. Not a lot to be gained by making an attack. And I think Smith is pretty happy to sit behind his defenses here with the Expedition, ready to deal 6 at a moment's notice.
The only question I have here, Patrick, is what is the card in Dale Smith's hand?
Maybe Anger of the Gods. No real reason to cast it right now if you are just hoping Hefner burns himself off with the Dark Confidants.
Okay.
And pretty much anything else you would have seen. And he has to play around Liliana anyway, so he's sort of incented to discard things.
Fatal Push is going to target Dark Confidant.
To play this off his hand, rather, when he can.
Bloodbraid Elf is the reveal. He's going to fall down to 7.
Too hot.
Yeah. Yep. A little too much there.
Whew.
Here is Bloodbraid Elf. We'll do a little cascading. Ah, yes. Yeah. We're not casting that one.
Not the most helpful confidants here for Hefner. I mean, even if they were good, it probably wouldn't be good enough, but they have not been good.
I'm inclined to agree with you. Most cards will kill Jesse Hefner from this point. Dale Smith is going to sacrifice his Kalinyard Expedition. He will get 2 mountains, I'm sure. They'll enter the battlefield at the same time. 2 triggers from Valakut. Put you down to 1. Escape Shift, kill you that way too. It's all easy breezy here. Jesse says, just show me another mountain, please. There's a stomping ground. We are all done. So Dale Smith will win game number 1 here over Jesse Hefner. Titan Shift will take care of Jund, and what is a very good matchup here for Dale Smith. A timely pairing. And as these players go to the sideboard, we'll see if Jesse can find some ways to even it up. But first, a few messages from our sponsors. Let's get ready here for game number 2 between Dale Smith and Jesse Hefner, shall we? It's Titan Shift and Jund. For Hefner, 3 Fulminator Mages, 2 Ancient Grudge, 2 Nile Spellbomb, 2 Kitchen Finks, a Collective Brutality, Engineered Explosives, a Ghost Quarter, another copy of Kolaghan's Command to go along with a Tireless Tracker and a Maelstrom Pulse, Patrick.
Not a ton here. I think you want the Tireless Tracker and the Ghost Quarter and the 3 copies of Fulminator Mage. Titan Shift isn't nearly as vulnerable to land destruction as a deck like Tron, for example, but those cards are still improvements over the creature removal he has in his main deck.
For Dale Smith, he's got 2 Beasts Within, 2 Damping Sphere, 2 Dismember, 2 Pulse of Marasa, 2 Reclamation Stage, 2 Tireless Tracker, a Feed the Clan, a Nature's Claim, and kaboom, a Shatterstorm.
Love the 2 copies of Tireless Tracker in this matchup. I could see the Dismember, Beast Within, Pulse of Marasa stuff coming in some mixture. Just kind of depends on what Smith wants to cut out of the deck.
Pulse of Marasa is a fun one. I haven't seen that one for a while. Pretty good against Burn, too, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
It's a weird, weird card.
Quite the common.
Yes. It looks like we're going to have a conversation with Dale Smith. One of our judges of the tournament has pulled him aside, so to the booth we go. To the booth we go before we head back down to that match. Not sure what this conversation is about, but when we find out the deets, we'll let you know.
I'm short for details.
My man. Thank you.
For those of you who are in my age demographic.
That's code word for old. That's what that is. Adam Ament. What, really?
One question. Give us one question.
All right. Adam Ament wants to know why do you call the chat, why don't you call it the Peanut Gallery? Why do you call it the Jackals? Or commentary?
Peanut Gallery is a little worn out.
Right? Isn't that just, it's just old, right?
It's an idiomatic phrase I've used a lot.
Okay.
I have occasionally still referred to you all that way. But you got to mix it up.
I like Jackals. That's something you can brand right there. We can make Jackal jerseys.
Yeah.
All of it. Jackal
Team
in the front. Yeah, Jackal in the front. Hashtag Team Jackal.
Get an artwork. Get the image for her Jackal.
Bang. Bang. Just run it off the presses.
Star City Games really should leverage. I'm not kidding. My T-shirt game.
I wholeheartedly agree.
You need to. I have a sense for these things. You need to tap into it.
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't get that vibe because of the way that I sell the ads sometimes, but actually, that could be an asset for you in the advertising department. Let's go back. Let's head on back down.
Yeah, I'm ready to head back down.
We'll pick this conversation up.
Yeah. We'll talk more about printing money via T-shirts soon enough. I could definitely see some Jackal jerseys, though. Are there a lot of Jackals in Magic?
Her Jackal, Jackal Pup. I believe Amonkhet had a light Jackal theme.
Jackal. I'm Googling Jackals in Magic right now.
It's just going to bring up an image of the Twitch chat.
That's
Jackals in Magic.
That's just true. Jackal Familiar.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. This is what I'm talking about.
Just gather a search Jackal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Jackal theme.
Yeah, I recall the Jackal sub-theme.
There's a Dothy Jackal? There's a Jackal that has Shadow?
Yeah.
All right. The Mummy's not a Jackal. Stop.
Yeah, forget that. Don't count
Stop.
those. Her Jackal.
There's
there we
Her
go.
Jackal.
Bang.
That's a card right there.
The original Jackal.
Yeah. Let's see. Jackal Familiar. You know that one? Oh, boy. What is that a picture of?
It's a Jackal. Drew Tucker's work was a little bit more abstract than a lot of the
you think so?
A lot of the early Magic artists.
A Thoughtseize will show you 2 Primeval Titans and Obstinate Baloth. Don't pick that one. I believe that, that's a Pulse of Marasa because it can't be Green Sun Zenith. A Bolt and 2 lands.
Jackal Pup.
Jackal Pup, yeah, that's
Jackal
nice.
Familiar.
Yeah, there were a lot of Jackals in Amonkhet. I wonder why we dabbled over that. Well, I guess it's in flavor.
There's that's whatever the sort of Egyptian style that they're going for.
Not a lot of Jackals, though, in Magic's history. Tell you what.
No. More of them in the chat than there are in the card game.
Yeah. Jackal Familiar, a nice card. Can't attack or block alone.
Yeah.
Creature type. Yeah. There it is. Look at that thing giving beatdowns.
Yeah. Even though it does appear to be attacking alone in the art. But whatever.
Yeah, we don't want to get into the details of it all.
Right. Maybe not a 10 out of 10 flavor-wise, but that's a...
Hefner took a lightning bolt with his Thoughtseize, and now he'll deploy Dark Confidant. We'll head back over to Dale Smith, who will play a Stomping Ground tapped and pass. Dale has not done a lot of ramping, as a Blood Crypt is the reveal. In for 2 comes Jessy. Smith will fall down to 18. This will be a Blood Crypt untapped. Is it time for maybe a Fulminator Mage? Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. If you don't love that, you don't love Magic. Scape Shift the draw. Not today. Another Valakut.
It's the game that Richard Garfield intended, and that sounds like a joke, but there are like 17 Stone Rains in Alpha. So
it is. So it is what he intended.
We have proof.
Inquisition of Kozilek the reveal going to bring Jesse Hefner down to 15. Attack for 2 going to bring Dale Smith down to 16. Inquisition will show you that the only thing that Jesse can take is Pulse of Marasa. Scape Shift, 2 Primeval Titans, a Stomping Ground, and an Obstinate Baloth is the hand here for Dale Smith. See if Hefner's got a Tarmogoyf for another 2-drop as a follow-up. Not a great time to play Liliana of the Veil, obviously. He'll sacrifice A Bloodstained Mire will Hefner fall down a little bit lower here as he gets a basic Swamp. He'll settle in at 14, and we'll see what the follow-up play will be. Maybe another Fulminator Mage, perhaps. You know, it actually turns out they printed some pretty good Jackals.
Yeah. The Jackals punch above the weight class of most creature types.
Yeah. Earthshaker Kenra, Dread Wanderer, Flameblade Adept.
Jackal Pup is an iconic,
Yeah.
iconic tier 1
That thing
card.
used to give some beatdowns.
Yeah. Her Jackal was never great.
They can't all be winners. You see, Fulminator Mage giving some beatdowns now. Might be taking care of that green source here in just a moment. For now, we'll see another Dark Confidant, and there's the Fulminator Mage blowing up a land. Overgrown Tomb tapped, pass the turn back. Another Stomping Ground tapped, pass the turn back over to Hefner. Let's see what he reveals. 1 is a Dark Confidant. 2 is a Ghost Quarter. In for 4 will bring Smith down to 8. If you're Hefner, you got a commanding lead here. The thing you're scared of is Dark Confidant backfiring on you.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to deploy the third one here, both as protection against the sweeper and also because it just increases the risk he's killed in random fashion.
Tyler's Tracker plus a Mountain means that Dale Smith will have a clue on the way, but that'll be his entire turn. And we head back over to Jesse Hefner. Reveal number 1 is Tireless Tracker, down to 7.
Keeping it close.
Keeping it at 7 thanks to a Raging Ravine reveal. What's our follow-up? Our follow-up is Liliana the Veil. Minus take care of the Tracker. In for 4. You're down to 4. Hefner have some bolts? Yes, he does. Let's get ready for a third one here as Jesse Hefner ties things up here against Dale Smith. Dark Confidant didn't die, but Dale Smith sure did. Jun, Titan Shift. They'll get ready for the game number 3 about to be underway here between Dale Smith and Jesse Hefner. It's Titan Shift versus Jund. They're all tied up. Generally a pretty good matchup here for Titan Shift, but not a guarantee that it does win. Smith has had some real trouble ramping here in the first 2 games. And Jesse Hefner has been fading his Dark Confidant bullets left and right. So we'll see if we can find something maybe a little more traditional for game 3.
Well, Smith has not been able to get much in the way of acceleration against the discard spells. Game number 1, Hefner's clock was so slow that Smith was just able to kind of naturally deploy lands and win with Valka that game. And game number 2, the discard spell backed up by the Fulminator Mages, Smith could never really get off the ground.
Yeah. So lots of work to be done here for Dale Smith and Jesse Hefner. Important match, too, because you see the records here, 10-3 for both players. Unclear 12-3 will make top 8 here this weekend because we had so many players in day number 2 of competition. If you do make top 8 at 12-3, your tiebreakers are going to have to be pristine.
Yeah,
do so.
Going into the round when we looked at players to watch, I thought Hefner in particular looked like right on the edge of 2-0 and maybe 8th, maybe 9th sort of. But he's got to win the matches first for any of it to matter.
That's definitely true. As Caleb Shearer, you see behind Dale Smith walking away, and I think Caleb's got the match slip in his hand. Didn't get a great look at it, but it wouldn't surprise me. Well, hold on a minute.
Nope. Spoke too soon.
I sure did. I think the opposition has defeated the Storm Bro.
Kale's opponent gave a thumbs up, and the match slip's still on the table.
Yes, sir. So perhaps we watch Caleb Shearer play for top 8 next round. We'll have to find out. For now, we turn our attention to this match in front of us. Looks like Dale Smith will keep his opening hand. Jesse Hefner will slowly peel up his 7. And we'll see if he's happy with what he's found. He's good, too. And it looks like the green light about to be given here. Actually, Jesse going to take a longer look at this hand. Pardon me. He hasn't locked in a keep just yet, and he won't, as he will send it back for 6 new cards. And while he does that, the StarCityGames.com weekly sale needs to be discussed because there's not a lot of time left for you at home to save up to 33% off a select full art singles, you jackals.
Fortunately, you can go back to the website tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and see what new sale is going on. Every week, Star City Games has a sale with different categories, and so make sure to be checking back to the website at least once a week, see what's on sale. For a limited time remaining, up to 33% off. Select full art singles. Go.starcitygames.com/weekly sale.
They believe that they should be called Team Chupacabra instead of being called Jackals.
Yeah, just the Chupacabras.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay. I buy that.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But we'll say that.
The chat Chupacabras is not bad. That's got a ring to it.
Okay.
That's not a bad suggestion. For a organization or category or demographic that suggests a lot of bad ideas, that one's not bad at all. That's great.
Our friend Germano BD is very curious when we're going to have another Reckless Youth story again, as he loved your Paul Revere story.
Oh, the stories of my youth? I don't know. The problem is that as I mentioned right as we hopped in this match, I'm having trouble recalling things.
Yes. Old age lighting you up. Jesse Hefner having some difficulty finding land drops. He started things off with an Inquisition. Looks like he got to take a lightning bolt with that. But Search for Tomorrow is our roll in here for Dale Smith, and he's actually doing some ramping for a change. Already has Escape Shift in hand. Jesse saw that with the Inquisition. Let's see what comes next. Sakura Tribalder. Well,
yeah, he's got the Escape Shift. Obviously that's vulnerable to a Thoughtseize off the top, but otherwise, even if Hefner draws lands and curves out from here, it's going to be too slow.
We could be done here real soon, folks. We could be extra done now.
Yeah, if Hefner goes to 18, that's the magic number.
Mm-hmm.
Deck deals damage in multiples of 3, and is 6 mountains threshold. So Escape Shift combos out at 18 and kills Hefner. He has a Collective Brutality. Could be different.
I agree. And I think we might see one. And the way he's holding those 2 cards leads me to believe that we will. There is Collective Brutality. Just going to be the duress mode, I'm sure. Take your Escape Shift. Jesse will get to play on now. No sacrifice of the Sakura Tribalder. Actually, not necessary to sacrifice it.
Yeah, so you might as well get in the points of damage or have a chump blocker left over if it comes to that. And if you Escape Shift combo, it doesn't matter if the land's tapped or untapped. He's got enough mana to work with. Mm-hmm. So you might as well keep the Tribalder around.
Windswept Heath to draw. Cinderglade to play, in for 1.
So now Smith at this point, if he draws a Valakut, he's in a pretty good position because he can start just going manual with lands. If he draws Escape Shift, that ends the game. Primeval Titan's excellent. But he also has a lot of air in his deck at this point. The stuff that makes mana really isn't that helpful. And his deck has a lot of mana.
Dark Confidant, Jesse's favorite card, has shown up. Smith will draw. There are a lot of game winners here, and Sakura Tribalder, unfortunately, is not one of them. Best draws, as Patrick did mention, 3 Escape Shifts left, presumably, along with Primeval Titans and Summoner's Packs.
Yep.
Tyler's Tracker would be no slouch here either. That's what Dale Smith is looking for, as Hefner will reveal a Raging Ravine and draw a card for the turn. And the follow-up here for Jesse is a Tarmogoyf. Raging Ravine tapped, pass the turn back. And Dale will draw. That's a Wooded Foothills. That's not what the doctor ordered either. Just going to pass the turn back. The Lightning Bolt to reveal. And it looks like Hefner may have picked up a copy of Verdant Catacombs.
Starting to get the ball rolling a little bit here.
Inquisition will show you 2 lands. Nothing to be worried about there. If I am Smith, I do want to start playing those lands in my hand. Because what that allows them to do is have kind of delayed Valakut triggers.
Right, and you need to cushion yourself against Liliana a little bit here. You don't want to be stuck with the cards in your hand that you're throwing away when they are productive if Smith hits one of his big draws.
There is that Verdant Catacombs I mentioned from earlier. Tarmogoyf and Dark Confidant coming in. We'll check the sizing on that Tarmogoyf here with the Tarmo die in just a moment as the land's placed into the graveyard. It's going to be a 3/4. I believe, as we've got instant land and sorcery in the graveyard. No creatures just yet. Hefner on the hunt. And he will get himself a Blood Crypt. We'll see what the follow-up is for the Delphi, Indiana native. He'll go with the Scavenging Ooze and simply pass the turn back. Is it prime time? It's escape shift time. It's no time.
I am surprised by holding the lands back.
Me too. I don't see what the benefit is. As here's Tarmogoyf. Because if he draws a Valakut now, it's not going to be nearly as good as it could be.
And he might need to, if in the event that he draws a Valakut, he wants to be able to win on the spot. Because he knows that Hefner has Fulminator Mages. So saying, playing the Valakut and trying to get it next turn is a risky proposition.
Because right now, you take a look. Hefner's at 12, right? If those 2 fetch lands are on the battlefield, along with 2 Tribelders,
you draw a Valakut and that's game.
Game's over.
And the way that Smith has it set up now, if he draws a Valakut, it's not game over. And he has to play it onto the battlefield and expose it to Fulminator Mage or Ghost Quarter to be able to try to win the game the following turn.
Inquisition will show you Farseek and a couple of
I don't mind keeping the Farseek.
I'm fine with, because Farseek could just be a bolt.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
Yep.
When you're ready to go, it's ready to go. That's fine.
That's fine.
But the lands, I think, certainly once Hefner has seen your hand and the bluff value is gone, I would have played one of the fetch lands.
Tribelder is going to block Tarmogoyf here.
I mean, is the thinking Kalani Heart Expedition? That just doesn't seem...
I don't even know if that's in his deck after sideboard either.
Right, yeah. Another
Dale
fine
would
point.
know.
Another fine point.
Yep. So Scavenging Ooze looks like it's going to eat the Secure Tribelder. Going to get in for 5. Looks like Smith's going to fall down to 8. Curious to see what the follow-up here is. Another Tarmogoyf. All right. Well, we draw. Is it Escape Shift? That is going to do it. Unbelievable. Dismember that he could not find anything to do with. And now we're going to see the rabbit holing. Because sometimes when you play Escape Shift, this is just how it goes. You don't find the way to win. He was all set up, looking to draw Prime Time or Escape Shift.